So, the studio is Blindo Games. You want to tell us a little bit about the team, the guys that come in, and some of the challenges you face really programming and building for VR?
Yeah, no problem. So I used to work in the AAA game industry, which is like the big
the big
budget stuff.
That's the top.
Nice. Then the studio got shut down, and so I started my own little independent thing called Blindo Games. And so I've been doing the independent thing for about 8 years now. And I usually just work by myself, but for Flotilla 2, I decided to work with a larger group of people to work on the levels and like kind of contribute to the design. So for Flotilla 2, it's me, Alejandro Madrid, Atlee Lowridge, Evan Hemsley, and Valerie Lynn. And they're making a bunch of cool levels for the game, making a bunch of cool combat scenarios for the game. It's been going really well.
Yeah. So, Blindo Games, and so tell me games that have inspired like Flotilla 2. Like, what games did you play in your past? Or even, you said you worked in the industry, so maybe you worked on a title that has inspired something similar to this. Like, where did Flotilla 2's idea come from? Where was the generation?
Yeah, it was a lot of the game Homeworld.
Dude, that was such a great game.
Yeah,
I remember that game.
Big epic space opera game.
Yeah, that was great.
It had a soundtrack by Yes, which is amazing.
Right. Yeah.
And a lot of like old school RTS games like Myth.
Yeah.
Like before Bungie made Halo, they were famous for Myth games.
Yep.
That's like a really small scale, tight game, which is like a small amount of units.
Yeah, Myths was great.
It was fantastic.
So a question about Flotilla 2 specifically. So you're controlling an entire fleet. So is it like hand driven? How are you actually controlling the fleet and interacting with it?
Yeah. So I love strategy games, but I'm bad at them.
Yes.
And I wanted to make one that I would enjoy. Kind of my problem with a lot of strategy games is that they're so fast paced and there's so much stuff going on.
Micro controlling.
Yeah, there's like a tank on the other side of the map that's destroyed for some reason. Like, I don't know what happened. So for Flotilla 2, the gag is that it is a turn-based game.
Oh, okay.
You put down all your orders for your fleet, and then you press the go button, and then they all start moving.
Okay, so like diplomacy, kind of like the pen and paper or group game diplomacy.
Yeah, exactly.
In college. Very cool. So VR diplomacy in a way, but with ships in space.
With a lot more direct fire.
Do you have economies, or is it mostly just fighting?
Just fighting.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So that's
a shooter, really, kind of strategy, turn-based shooter.
Yeah.
Cool.
So it gives you time to kind of strategize, and kind of make a plan for what you want to do.
Right. So when is the release?
It is shooting for a couple months from now.
Cool. Okay, great. And you're in Windows primarily, right?
Yes,
so
Windows.
Steam or what is the
It'll
plan
be
for
Steam and my own website.
Great, awesome. And that's blendogames.com.
Yep, blendogames.com.
Cool. Great.
So, Brendan, I have a question for you.
Sure.
You come from the world of the AAA games.
I do.
And now you're doing your own VR game.
Mm-hmm.
What, from your opinion, kind of working at the top and everything like that, where do you see VR going? How do you see VR really kind of breaking into that audience that a AAA game has? What in your take is what's really the direction on the big scale?
Yeah, I think my best answer is I don't know, and I don't think anyone knows. I think that for me, it's kind of the exciting part of working in VR is that it's so unexplored and no one knows what they're doing.
Right.
Every time you do something, you might be the first person on the planet trying that thing. Like people still don't know, like if you're in a hallway and you stick your head through a hallway, how do you handle that situation?
Right,
and
exactly.
Yeah. People just don't have an answer yet, and it's exciting to like be the one that's trying to figure that out.
Yeah, that's awesome. And there's a lot of different approaches for really just kind of moving along. You can kind of teleport. You can work in different commands, ways to move along. I see a lot of VR teams kind of come up against that, and it's a problem, but their solution is always very creative and a little bit different than other games as well, because your mechanics it's not as simple as you got your controller, you walk forward or anything like that. You have to get across like, okay, now we need to be here.
Totally.
I think that's one of the more cutting edges part of VR. And when VR was first like introduced to the industry, I was still in college and was going to try to do a master's degree. And one of the things I wanted to pursue was UI, specifically human-computer interaction, because the way we actually interact with computers is super archaic. You know, it's very similar to the toilet, which is like it hasn't changed really since invention and
you
completion.
tell it to flush.
Right, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
You know, in ancient Greece, they had flowing areas that looked just like toilets that we have now. So it's like it hasn't changed
A little
in thousands
history
of
lesson
years.
here.
Well, the point of what I'm making here is that it's VR is forcing our industry to really examine how humans interact with computers, and that's really vital for game playing, especially when you start interacting with AI. Because how are we supposed to actually interact with this thing? Is it a keyboard?
Yeah.
Should it be my thumbs? Is it my entire body? Should I be recording movements, gestures, these kind of things?
That brings up a good thought and a good question for you is working in VR, how does that affect the story or what you're trying to get across? Because now it's this really limitless new kind of technology. Are you finding yourself kind of sacrificing for kind of the perks and the cool things of VR, or is it different when you're telling a story because of what you have at your fingertips?
Yeah, like right now the tech is so in development that we're still trying to like figure out how to make things work. Like one thing that's kind of tricky, at least in my experience, has been how to do text in VR, because the screens just aren't high resolution enough to render words.
Right.
And if you want to do words, that'll be pretty big. So right now is just we're kind of starting at square one, trying to like unlearn all the things that we kind of know and trying to like relearn how does this thing work.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it, man. It's just like the great unknown.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
When you mentioned the walking thing, one of the funnier solutions I saw was someone put the controller in their pants or in the belt of their pants.
Oh.
And then when it kind of like bobbled up and down, it simulated running forward. It's like, this is great.
That's a new solution.
Yeah.
Well, I want to say thank you so much for coming and being on the podcast. Thank you for coming and being a part of Game Night. Really excited to see people come down and experience your game, get some honest, awesome feedback, and thank you so much for being a part of this.
Cool. Thanks for inviting me.
And thank you for reminding me of Homeworld, man. Seriously, I feel like a little kid right now.
That's
great.
great.
It's like I just got a squee going on inside. Squee.
That's great.
You know, yeah, it's great.
So
He's
Brandon was
a great
great.
guy. Yeah, it's a great guy. I like strategy games, and I love diplomacy. I don't know if you've ever played diplomacy.
I never got into diplomacy.
Yeah, it's really, it's not a video game or anything. It's really just you get a group of people, you have a set of rules,
right,
and then you write down, somebody is the game master, and you write down the rules, and then it's, everybody takes the turn at the same time. Sometimes you defend, sometimes you attack, and it's all about, stabbing each other in the back. It's really what it's called, diplomacy, but it's a game of stabbing each other in the back.
It's like risk in
you
a
know,
way,
like
huh?
real diplomacy.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah, especially if you're in this country. But yeah, okay. So
I'm gonna talk to Chris and see.
Yeah.
Do we have anything coming in on the stream?
Bone dry.
Bone dry. So we got nothing.
It's all right.
Nothing over there either.
It's okay.
A little further forward. Okay.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. Find your light. You just say, find your light. Find your light.
I like it. We
Here's
didn't even.
my light.
We should prep that next
Find
time.
mine,
We do look beautiful,
Find
don't
your
we?
light. It's the hair.
So,
the hair.
Ron,
Yeah.
last month we talked a little bit about my company and
Yes.
how we run this, and I wanted to dig a little further into letting people know about you and what you do, because you're not games.
No,
you're an avid gamer,
correct,
but you are not in the world of games.
I am what you would call I know enough to be dangerous.
Okay.
Of a thing that I'm really passionate about. So one of the things that I actually use video games as a way to relieve stress, which I think a lot of us do.
I believe so.
So for me, I like to play puzzle games, but I also like to play a lot of different stuff. So I've played so many different games in my life. And I'm a programmer. I just don't program in games.
Right.
So I'm very aware of this, of how they work and how
the work that goes into
right.
Just
and I could get into them if I wanted to. But I want to function more on the social aspect of it. Right,
Okay.
like getting people together, using games as a way to bond, because that's how I made friends. I grew up in an environment where I didn't have a lot of friends, and so when I started making friends, the way I did it was we played, Smash Brothers or those kind of games.
Exactly.
Right? So that's where I'm at in this. So I actually more involved in this industry and more of a voiceover kind of stuff. So I did work for Alvin and Chipmunks, the last movie.
It's a great story. I do love that.
You.
Yes.
I was the onset voice of Theodore.
Yes.
So I do a lot of that kind of stuff. I have this voice of mahogany. As
You
they
do,
say
man.
sometimes.
It is melting me right now.
Thank you. I appreciate you. So I like to use that, right? I like to, if I can help inspire you by either making you laugh, think about something, or feel something,
right.
That's where I communicate with the world the best. So that's what I'm doing here. That's why I'm here. I know enough about the tech to interact with a human being, and then try to hopefully help them translate that to people who don't necessarily know tech.
Yeah.
That's what I'm good at. So
you're a great buffer for that.
Thank you. You can find me on Instagram. I'm at The Real Rogden. It's real simple. The Real Rogden. First initial R for Ron, and Ogden, my last name, Ogden. So that's it. The Real Rogden. Yeah.
Well, get out there and find them.
Thanks.
And I think it's time to bring up another developer.
I agree. I think
All
it's
right.
time.
We're going to bring up Colin from
Nice.
Luca,
Yes.
Born of a Dream. Colin,
Yes.
are you ready? Come on
man.
down.
I am so excited about this game.
There's a lot of cool
Seriously.
things to
There's
talk
so
about with
many
this game.
things
Come on
about
in.
this.
We got a mic for you right there.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah,
I
what's
think
up,
we
Colin?
got you. Colin,
Cool,
how are you
cool.
doing?
Pretty good. Should I stand?
Yeah, stand
like
there.
right-
Yeah, it gets a little
right
awkward.
here?
It's a
Find the
little
light. You
like a
gotta
little
find the
horseshoe
light.
here.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
See?
Find your
Cool.
light. Yeah, did we find the light,
I found
Chris?
it. I found it.
Did we find the light?
Am I
We're in
good?
the light.
It's
Okay.
there. It's right there.
We're live, right?
Yeah,
We are live,
We are
yeah.
very live.
Yeah.
We are
Okay,
very
cool.
live.
Cool. Hey, camera.
Very well done.
Thank
There
you.
are people behind that camera, so you'd be like, "Hey, people."
Hey, people.
There you go. Yeah,
There you go.
nice.
So
Nice.
I know with this game specifically, there's things I want to touch on that Ron wants to touch on,
Yes.
but let's let you go ahead
Yes.
and jump in and
Sure.
tell us a little bit about the game, a little bit about how you got there, and kind of highlight the Kickstarter
Yeah.
experience.
So the game I'm making is called Luca, Born of a Dream. It's an action RPG about finding oneself with a really scratchy, intense art style and cool visceral combat. So those are kind of the two things we were going on. It started as a solo project, and then I brought on a very select few friends. Nicolo to do the music, Kevin who worked on Chambara, and Brianna who worked on Butterfly Soup. And we came together and we launched a Kickstarter for this artsy action game that seemed like it had very little audience, and we succeeded, which was really cool.
Great.
And it's allowed us to develop totally independently, which we're very proud of.
Nice.
And
That's
we're
great.
Releasing next month. So the Steam page is
Yeah.
live. Please wishlist it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. We'll make sure
Yes.
you say that over and over while you're up here.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, that's our story in a nutshell.
That's great. So
Yeah,
you guys
yeah.
really, you just kind of went in with the Kickstarter, just kind of hoping to get whatever kind of traction you could, and
Yeah,
then you
yeah.
got, not only you got there, but that was over a year ago, right?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
now you're here, and we're just so close to that release date.
Mhm.
That's awesome. That's a lot of developers' dreams. A lot of
Yeah,
teams,
yeah.
going, if we could just really pull this off now, then we can put ourselves in position to
Right.
finish this game.
Now you just have to, make all those extras that you decided
Yes,
to put in your
yes,
Kickstarter.
you have to
like,
fulfill.
Yeah.
that's the hardest part, right?
Yeah.
That's
One of the things we made sure of was that all the rewards are digital. Like there's no
Smart.
like sending out
Yeah,
T-shirts and stuff.
yeah.
Right.
I still have a lot of work to fulfill them all, but
For
at
sure.
the very least, like the game is coming out, so I can promise that, and then
Cool.
we'll move on to the rest.
Good.
Great.
But yeah, it was definitely I think something I don't really talk about when talking about this game too much is that it kind of started as a little side project after I got like laid off from one of my first jobs, and
Yeah.
it was just like, it's like I had a lot of time, so I started like creating this little prototype and then arting it and then putting it on Twitter, and like it started getting some traction, like more than 2 people liked
Yeah,
my
right.
tweets, right? And I was like, oh, this is kind of exciting. People are into this, and it's kind of slowly evolved into something that I really believed in. And then when we put the Kickstarter out, our audience like kind of exploded, and I was like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah. It's got to be a really good feeling.
Yeah.
Well, especially because it's a really niche game. Right.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, I like to describe it as it's like if you're you were playing through someone's dream diary, but that dream diary was also Devil May Cry.
Yeah.
Which is not a combination that people normally think
Right,
of.
yeah.
It's a very personal and like artistic game, but it's also very gamey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's cool action and items to find in a big world that you go around. It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to play just a little bit of it, just the
Yeah.
first tutorial part, and like Red had to come and pry me away.
Yeah.
Because I got so into it. The art is really unique.
Mm.
It's kind of like, this is a definitely something that I think is awesome, but it's like 8-year-old, 9-year-old scribbled art and then made an animation, and it's so cool that way. It's especially because it's real combat, like very visceral combat.
Well, one of the things you're trying to do with that is like it's like the idea of evoking like shape, form, and motion instead of like totally representing it.
Yeah.
Like one, because it goes along with like the thematics and the kind of atmosphere we want to create with the game, but also because it lets us be a very small team and make a fully fledged action game because we're not worrying about like giant expensive
It's
art assets.
It's an efficient, creative decision, and that's really powerful.
Yeah.
And I think, to be completely honest, I think that's what make this game very successful. Is
Thank
that
you.
That's I think right there's the heart of your game.
And you kind of, when we were over there, you mentioned that game just, it evolved. And you didn't allow, to put yourselves in a box in any way. You kind of went with it. And how far off of like your original idea, not off, but how much has it really grown, and now it's just taken its own shape past what you initially thought?
Right. It's funny because it started out as a little prototype that was actually like a top-down shooter.
Yeah.
like
a
twin stick shooter. Yeah, it's not a shooter anymore.
No.
But the art style was kind of like that scratchy, like outline only kind of thing, and that's sort of where everything evolved. And then we like really pushed it.
Cool.
Like it doesn't look anything like what it used to, but at the same time, it does, right? Because the style didn't change; it just evolved, like I was saying before.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Very cool. So you, as you said before, you're on Steam. There's a wish list, right? And that I'm assuming you can find it under.
If you go to
Luca.
If you search Luca Born of a Dream on Steam, it'll show up.
Cool.
Click on it, add it to your wish list because that helps us out with visibility.
Yeah, right.
We're releasing literally in a few weeks.
Nice.
So be on the lookout.
Well, I will be as soon as I get back to my computer. I will make sure to wish list it for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, very much. Yeah,
and
it's definitely worth it. Absolutely.
We catch our updates on Twitter. Is that where?
So you can follow us. My personal Twitter is @me3, all spelled out. Our producer Kevin Wong posts about it a lot too. @thatKevin Wong.
Okay.
Those are the best places to keep up with Luca.
Cool.
Awesome. Well.
Right.
I think unless there's anything else you want to add, any kind of gameplay things. Really enjoyed having you up here.
Oh, thank you. I think like one last thing to wrap it up is that there's like a lot of games, kind of really like change from like your initial vision to the creation, either because of production woes or because you need to sell a certain number of copies and you cut certain things. I really feel like Luca is an example of a game where it kind of just like fell out of our heads, like the way we imagined in a really
like
special way.
Yeah, born of a dream.
It was born of a dream, and now it's almost a reality.
Yeah, and the visuals very much remind me of like a dream.
Awesome.
And that is a really great creative process to be a part of. That doesn't happen very often.
No, it does not.
We've been very lucky.
That is really cool because it's very rewarding. Where everyone's like, "Yep, this is what it should be."
Yes.
And you're making it with the Kickstarter being successful. You're doing it on your own.
Yeah.
And you really get to make it your game.
It's not easy, but it's been rewarding.
Is any of this easy?
No.
Not
Not at all.
No, not at all.
If it was easy, everyone would be making them.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of do want everyone to be making games, but we'll get there. We'll get there.
One day at a time.
Colin, thank you so much for being on.
Yeah.
Thank you
so
for
much,
being
Colin.
here.
Thank you for having me.
Great,
Yeah.
and we're looking forward to an awesome game night.
I'm really excited to show it.
Once again,
great.
Cool.
Stream wish list. Luca, Born of a Dream.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Great.
Have a great night.
Cool.
Seriously, man, this game.
The art.
Like, I am super excited.
It's the
man.
art for me.
It's the art. It absolutely is the art. Well, it's the art, but it's not just the art, because I played artsy games that don't have good gameplay.
Yeah.
But I literally was drawn into the gameplay within a couple of minutes of just playing the tutorial. And I didn't even get through all of the options. So he's not kidding when he says it's visceral combat. It was cool.
You barely.
Dude, I barely touched it. I can't
surface.
wait for it to come out. I have not been this excited about an indie game in a long time.
Is it on your Steam wish list?
Not yet. It will be.
Okay.
I just haven't gotten home yet. That's
okay.
really
And
where
as soon as you can, put it on your
the
wish
Steam
list. 'Cause
wish
we're
list.
looking.
Absolutely.
It's next month.
Hey man, it's happening.
Next month.
It's
So
gonna happen.
I want to talk about the people who allow us to do this.
Oh yes. So I want to talk a little bit about that. They don't really have a phrase, and I really like this phrase.
They
that
don't. So we could try one out.
Yeah.
I'll run it. I'll run it
so
by him.
The company is called Game Realms, right? They're in Burbank.
Game Realms in Burbank.
Game Realms.
137 North Victory Boulevard.
At Game Realms on Instagram and game.realms.com on the internet, if
Yep.
you'd like, or on your favorite web browser.
Or Game-Realms.
Yeah, sorry. Game-realms.com. So Game Realms, right? So it's the multiverse in which all gaming universes meet and collide. So it is the white hole of the gaming universes.
I'm going to throw it to him.
Right?
I'm going to
Game
see
Realms, the white hole of gaming.
I'll throw it to him. I don't know, but there's something really cool about
a white
this
hole,
store.
right? The opposite of a black hole, where everything comes into
I don't
a
know
point.
how much it sticks, but I'll throw it at him. One thing that's really cool about this place is it's not just your games. Like if you need anything, they will take care of you. The staff is incredible, but they do a lot of other really cool stuff. They host tournaments.
Nice.
They bring in people of note from the industry.
For signings and stuff?
Yeah, they do signings. They do a lot of stuff there. Check out their website on their calendar. They're always doing something, and it's a lot more than just going to GameStop or anything like that. Like you're actually there.
It's not saying much.
And and it's like if they don't have it, they will get it.
Cool.
Even if it's like a difficult thing for them to do, man, Will over there, he knows his games. He understands like his
gaming
customer.
Concierge. Gaming concierge.
He's the aficionado.
There you go. Nice.
And there's another company or location or someone else that allows us to do this.
Yes.
And we happen to be here right now.
Wait, what? You're talking about the bar?
I'm talking
Are you talking about Scum and Villainy? Cantina?
I'm talking now. They do have a tagline.
Do they?
What is their tagline?
Your friendly neighborhood geek bar.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what they've settled on, and it's wonderful. This place is so much fun. Like, if you want to talk about any of your nerddom, anything that you absolutely love, and do it face to face, get off the internet and come in and talk. It's like, it's the sports bar equivalent.
I love that many of the nights that I'm here, they have the bartenders doing cosplay as they're doing. And I'm not just like half. Like real cosplay.
No, they're in.
Like they're in full costume.
Absolutely.
You know, Lilu multipass, like just giving you drinks all night long.
It's great.
So it's really it's a great bar. It really is. I've been here now many a time. I've read a lot about the bar.
Yeah.
And it's becoming one of the bigger places here in LA, man.
I got to say, the thing about this bar I think that really resonates is you walk in, you're not on Hollywood anymore.
No.
You're just taken away, and you're now here. And then the people that are here are they're feeling the same thing.
Yeah,
it's a destination, this place, and it's a lot of fun. And JC, who is the owner of the bar here,
he's playing Contra right now.
Of course,
let's not interrupt him.
Always playing Contra.
He's speed running.
He's made everything so accessible, so much fun. He's been just such a great help.
Yeah.
So I got to say thank you, Scum and Villainy.
Yes,
if you haven't checked it out. If you're not in Hollywood, book a plane ticket. Get down here.
Make it a place to stop for sure.
6377 Hollywood Boulevard. Get down here. Check it out.
The lighting is really good for pictures, too. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah,
find our light.
The guy's pretty good with lighting and understanding how things are going to look.
Clearly.
Another aficionado of sorts, you would say.
Yes. Yeah.
It's a Contra
speed
wizard.
Runner. Yes, wizard.
He's not even paying attention to us.
All right, so I think we have another.
We do. We have one more developer. You see him waiting over there? Come on in, Max.
Max? Oh yeah, yeah. So Max and I immediately have something in common.
You do.
And that is a face full of beard.
Immediately,
So,
the first thing you
know,
notice.
I don't know if you know this, Max, but there is a club,
There is.
and the intro in the club is simply tipping the beard. You know, like a hat, but you tip the beard.
I see.
I
So,
have
Max,
never been a member.
I'd like to welcome you to LA Game Night, and
Thank
I
you.
may tip the beard to you, good sir.
And I will. tip the
I'm
beard.
just gonna
Thank you very
stand
much.
over here.
Yeah, you don't have a beard. You shut up.
Yeah, I'm not even close.
You
I
don't
can't- I
have
can't
rights.
I do not have the beard rights. I'm not.
You have
I'm
no
not
beard
allowed
rights.
in.
We
I
do.
mean, you're
We
in the
in
league
fact
of redheads.
untip.
Yeah,
the
we
beards.
are. We got the
Right.
redheads going.
Yes, that's
We
true.
do.
That's true.
So there's something other than the beard that you
Yes.
guys have in common. We will get to the game real quick, but I was
Sure.
going to jump
Okay.
off.
Okay.
This does tie into the game. So the game is called Flock of Dogs.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And we were talking earlier about kind of the inspiration for it.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about someone important in your life that might have
Yes.
had some influence.
My one true love. She's a 9-year-old Greyhound rescue. She raced in Florida, and then they put her up for adoption, and so I adopted her. There's a lot of dogs out there that need adoption. It's a good cause. You should Google it, find out more if you
Yeah.
can.
Absolutely. Adopt, don't shop.
I also have a love of my life, and she is a 10-year-old Whippet
Not-
mix
It's not me.
that I also rescued. She did not race in Florida, but I found her abandoned in a sleet storm in Georgia
Wow.
and took her in. So I share. Her name is Karma. And you
Karma.
said your greyhound's name was?
Her name is Itza.
Itza.
Yeah.
Well,
So a love of dogs is, it's a boy and his dog, right? That's an American story.
Yeah.
A boy and his dog.
And
Well-
a boy and his flying dog.
Hey, there we go. There's the great
Right, there we
transition
go.
I was trying to
That's
get
the
in.
next-
Why
So-
have one? You could have a whole flock of them,
Yes,
right?
you can.
So I mean, I'm gonna just delay it a little bit more, but we were talking earlier before you came in about your one-man team.
Yes.
Yes, the music is by my stepbrother,
Right.
but everything else, art, design, programming, yeah, that's all me. It's,
Dude, that's fascinating.
That
Good on you.
that's incredible.
Seriously, good on you.
How
thank you.
how
It's
was
not
it?
been
Was,
easy, but it's rewarding.
I
Good.
can't
Yeah.
even I can't
Yeah.
even imagine. So was it just you had this game and you just wanted to do it on your own, or you just didn't want to wait to find people, or how did you get into the point where you said, you know what, just me?
Well, it was more, I won't say betrayal, but
Oh.
a number of friends were like, yes, Max, I will make a game with you, Max. And that happened half a dozen times over the past 6 or 7 years since college. Even in college, I had friends swear they'd make a game with me, and maybe they just, maybe I'm hard, maybe it's me, maybe I'm hard to, but nonetheless, I eventually, I mean, to be honest, I wasn't very good at making games for a long time. I
Sure.
still am not so sure how good I am.
But you made one.
I've made one. I feel good about it.
Yep.
And this one has sort of stuck with me. It's meant enough to me that I've continued on my own
Yeah.
for over 2 years now. And
Cool.
I've quit my day job. I have some savings.
Cool.
I've moved in with my dad back in LA.
There you go.
And I'm going to go for it for
Making it
Hey, man.
happen.
6 months a year.
Another thing I
you
can
know.
share with him, which is leave everything behind to pursue a dream that you're passionate about. Absolutely. Did the same thing, man. Good
Yep.
on you.
Thank
Again,
you.
Man,
good
you
on
guys
you.
are just like twins. It's like
Yeah,
I'm
it's the
seeing
beards.
double over
I'm telling
here.
you, it's the beards.
Oh my! It's like should
Beard
I leave?
brothers.
Should I just go?
No, Red,
I should
stay.
stay?
Stay.
Okay.
You too can one day grow a beard.
I don't think so,
If you-
man. I don't think
I believe
so.
in you. I believe in you.
So let's jump into the game a little
Yeah.
bit.
Okay.
Okay. So the game, it gets up to 8. Just tell us a little bit. It's
Yes.
a co-op. Let's go. What do you got?
It is a
it's called Flock of Dogs.
It's called Flock of Dogs. It's up to 8 players, local multiplayer.
Nice.
You ride flying dogs that also ride a flying whale. If you're familiar with Lovers in a Dangerous Space Time,
Yes.
or
Yeah.
or even so I was like a year into development when this game came out called Sea of Thieves, which
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, well, that's a really, really nice, good, popular version of sort of what I'm trying to create,
Right.
where everyone's working together on your flying whale to either somebody's got to be on the helm, somebody's got to be on the saddle, somebody's got to be on the turret, somebody needs to be mopping the whale, somebody needs to be feeding the whale, and then you have your flock of dogs who are protecting the whale.
Oh, wow.
And when your flock, if any of the dogs in your flock get hurt, they come back to the whale, they dock on the whale, and somebody can feed them or take care of them.
Oh, nice.
And you're going on this kind of adventure through this floating land of, I don't know, you got weird creatures that don't have names yet. I don't,
Yeah.
maybe they look, they're just drawings that I've made into creatures, which is
Great.
Yeah,
That's what all art
works.
is, man.
The story begins with just there's the annual Whale Land Grand Market, and the dog riders are traveling to the Grand Market to perform their traditional Dogland air dance.
There we
go.
go.
And some things are going to happen along the way there, and it gets pretty chaotic, especially when you have up to 8 people playing all together.
It sounds a lot like it sounds like a really artistic and interesting way to do Jason and the Argonauts. It's just like this adventure where, all right, you're going to do that, you're going to do this, let's go, team. And now we're all moving there and we're all protecting each other. It's really awesome.
So I played soccer my whole life.
Right.
And it's always bothered me the disconnect between like sports and gaming, when it's like there's so much they can learn from each other, and there's so many rewarding things about being on a team, especially doing something hard and difficult as a team.
Right.
And that's what I found missing in a lot of like the couch multiplayer experiences.
Yes, absolutely.
Which I really love. My Smash Bros. Where you know,
Right.
And then there's even
But that's
like,
not team. That's
right. I mean, there are like you can play.
You can, yeah.
But right, you understand what I'm saying. And then there's a lot of really casual, sort of silly couch multiplayer games, which I love too.
Right.
And that's really fun in a party setting. But there's it's tougher to find a game where you can really have to work together and actually deal with actual like struggle and obstacles together.
Especially with specialized skill sets.
You know, that's one thing, because we were playing a little bit earlier. I've actually had the privilege to see 8 people playing this game, and it gets crazy. It's a lot of fun, but you start off this game, and there's a lot of kind of exploration, a lot of things you have to figure out as you go, but you've got multiple players too.
Cool.
So we were kind of joking earlier, you could be like, oh, I'm going to do this thing, and then there's 7 other players, and you're just completely lost in the shuffle, but you're somehow all getting it done together, and it's a really good way to kick off that game too. Just realize, okay, if we're going to play this, what are you doing? What are you doing? It's like in baseball.
What is your specialized skill?
Right. Exactly.
What is your specialized skill? Okay, let's put all the specialized skills in this area. Now you do your thing really good. Now let's do our things really good together. Yeah, that's, Army.
Yeah, that's right.
The Army.
Esprit de corps, sure.
Yeah.
Flying dogs.
Yes.
Right.
So you're the one-man team, and your background, what is your weakest link coming in? Were you art before, or is it what has kind of been the struggle?
I mean, have you seen the movie Amadeus, where there's like the patron saint of mediocrity? It's like that's my guy. I'm like mediocre programmer, mediocre artist.
You're the everyman.
Mediocre Twitter user. But my weakest point is probably the programming.
Cool.
I studied some art and a bit of programming in college, but
You're a physics guy.
I've just self-taught and made a lot of progress so far.
Cool.
Kind of what I'm not trying to point out your weaknesses and let people know, but kind of where I'm going with is when you're taking on everything, you start to set your own standards and you start to hold yourself accountable in different aspects.
Yep.
So have you really kind of been put in that position where you go, well, okay, clearly, I need to step up my programming to match this or that? Do you feel like you've come out just a much better just game creator?
I've definitely grown a lot in terms of not even just in like ability to program and ability to do art, but just in self-management.
Yeah.
There you go.
And like staying on a schedule.
Yeah, that's half the battle, man. It's
Yeah.
more than half the battle,
That's
half
kind
the
of
time.
all the battle.
Yeah.
I would say like the World Cup put me on a really nice schedule.
Getting up early. Yeah, there
you get up at 7 or 5 every morning.
But that's over now.
Yeah, I missed the World Cup, but
all right, so flockofdogs.com. Do you have a
Yes.
do you have an Instagram or Twitter?
Twitter at Flock of Dogs.
At Flock of Dogs.
Those are the big ones.
All
Twitter
right,
and
and you're looking for release around spring of next year.
yeah,
Cool. Yeah, you're a one-man team, man. We understand.
Right,
Yeah.
I make no promises.
Yeah, of course.
That's
I-
very tentative.
I'd consider doing something early access in
Yeah.
the future.
Cool.
But
It's a good idea. It's a very good
Yeah.
idea.
Awesome. Well,
All right.
Max, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much, Max.
I've seen a lot of people have a lot of fun on this game, so I'm excited tonight to see just
For sure.
it's a good time. I'll put it
And
that
Max, as Beard Brothers do, Adieu, good sir. Adieu.
You guys are weird.
No, it's just me.
It's just that is.
I drug him
that is
in.
very
I
true.
drug him in.
Yeah, I played along. I thought.
Cool, you did. You know. I
Yes,
appreciate
man.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Max. So that's it.
Not quite.
Okay, all right. You got more
So
for me. What's up?
We don't just have developers here.
We don't.
We also showcase game artists.
We do.
And we also sneak into our playlist that you can hear on our Twitch stream, as well as in the bar. We sneak in independent
Our
game
music.
composers.
Oh, wow.
So you need to get down here.
It's like it's a one-stop shop for game nights.
You could make your own
game here.
And one thing I love to press, if you're in Hollywood, you got to come down and see Jing Jing Cal's art.
Dude,
It's incredible.
I met her earlier, and she was working on her little tablet, and she's sketching Goku, and
Yep.
she's just like, "Oh, it's just a quick, sketch." And I was like, "Oh yeah, it's just quick, just master of art, just real quick, just give me a sec."
Yeah, I
But-
could not achieve.
But nowhere close did I do anything like that. And she's
No,
just like, "Yeah, it's cool."
not even
And just
close.
real unassuming about it. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
real, like she just likes drawing and creating this art from her head.
Absolutely.
And she's really, really, really quickly good at it.
The first time I saw her art, I was floored.
Yeah,
Unbelievable. And
it's
like
crazy.
she's working on a dinosaur
And
right
she's,
now.
if
that's
you come
pretty
down
cool.
here tonight,
Yes.
if you come down here tonight, she's going to do a little. I forgot exactly what she said she was going to do, but for $5, she would do like a little
What was that? Game characters.
game
yes.
characters. Cool. Goku,
Yeah.
Vegeta, Charizard. There's a variety of options she has.
There you go.
So
yeah.
make sure if you come down, you stop by, say hello. She is a wonderful human being and a
Absolutely.
wonderful artist.
And just some of the musicians you'll hear. I have them all
nice.
written down here.
Oh, nice.
Mark Dolgan, wonderful composer, has been working in games for a little while now.
Cool.
Pejman Ruzbe, this guy, he's got funk, he's got low end,
Oh, nice.
he's really got just an incredible ear. Great at mixing, where you find some of your skills and really
Yeah.
hone in. That's one thing I'm always blown away whenever I hear his mixes.
Good mixing.
Mike Thal, another really strong composer, works a lot in the podcast world, does a lot of like dialogue editing, everything. Really great guy. Our very own Chris Perry.
who I know very well, is a very talented musician. In fact, Red, I
Yes.
don't know if you knew this, but Chris and I, the other night, had a little jam session.
Did
at
you
his house.
really?
We so did. All
Oh,
I did
yeah.
was sing into a microphone, and we played.
Then
some,
he did his wizard.
Yeah, and he let me,
Yeah.
he let me do a little bit with the keyboard, and
Yeah.
he did his thing.
Which
but,
keyboard?
but he has like 3 of them, so we used all of them.
He's
It was
not
a
even
bunch of,
smiling
He's
over
not
there,
even
he's
right
not.
now. He's not. He's
We
not
don't
even
even
paying
have him.
attention.
And we also
Perry.
have another good friend of ours that you will hear in there, Enrique Hinojosa.
Oh, wow.
And he's been working with Red Rock and
Cool.
just incredibly talented. He's done the Bleeding Finger stuff, so he's done film and television.
So all these
He's
will be
great
playing
guy.
during the podcast.
You'll hear it. Yeah,
Cool.
It's going. It's
Very
during
cool.
the live stream. You can hear it.
Sweet.
And man, I gotta say, I thank you once again to Game Realms.
Game
Thank
Realms,
you to Scum and
Scum and
Villainy.
Villainy Cantina. Thank you to Chris Perry, to the cast, the crew.
Amber, thank you
Amber.
for everything.
Thanks
Working
to
our
you,
social
Red.
media.
Oh, thank
Me?
you.
Well, you're
Yeah.
welcome.
And you're welcome.
Well, Ron, thank you for everything.
You're welcome, man. Anytime, of course. anytime.
Awesome. Well, that's
That's it.
Level 3's
We're done.
podcast. We're
Right?
done.
Till next
we are
Sunday.
opening doors
Next month,
at
Sunday.
6 o'clock.
6 p.m.
So get down here, have
Come
some
get
fun,
some
play
drinks,
some games. We got a
get
free
some
we got a
food.
free raffle from Game
Raffle.
Realms.
Artists
Everything.
of a whole different variety. Come play some games. Play a flock of dogs.
And
Luca,
we
Flotilla
also-
2.
You know what? I just got a great reminder.
What's that?
So this is a free event for everyone in the community.
Yes.
It's free for our developers to come
Great.
in, appear on the podcast,
Yes,
and
yes.
showcase. We do have a Patreon page. And
Oh,
if
yeah.
you like what we're doing and you want to help us keep doing it, keep growing it,
It
and
helps
building,
us bring in new developers.
new
It helps us
developers, bring
yes.
in just more awareness and
Right.
more awareness specifically to the developers and the artists and the composers
Yep.
that are involved. Our Patreon page is patreon.com/LA_game night. That's
Cool.
LA_game night.
Patreon.
Patreon.
//
Be a member of the community.
Cool.
Help out everyone
Cool.
and allow us to take this, for a bad pun, to the next level.
Oh,
Ah,
hey, there you go. There you
Well,
go.
Ron, it's been a complete pleasure.
Dude, as Always. Thank you so much for having me. I
course.
Will be here as much as you need me, man.
You got it.
Cool. Thank you.
That
All
was
right,
that
guys,
awkward,
come on
that's
down
good.
to LA game night. Have a wonderful
All
evening.
right. We're out.